Hey there, welcome back to Beyond the Canvas with Lissette. Today we are going to dive into a super easy sunset using a few colors. So I'm using DecoArt. They give great coverage. We're going to start with some primary yellow, tangerine, carousel pink, magenta, dioxazine purple, and a true blue. Okay, those are some of the colors. You don't have to get the exact ones. These are the ones that I chose for today. We're going to be using a 1-inch flat brush. Any flat brush would work for this. Okay, super simple. We're going to start with our horizon line right in the center. You can decide if you want your horizon line to start 3/4 of the page in the center of the page. I'm going to actually go 3/4 of the page down. So let's start with some primary yellow. So I have a very messy paint palette here, which is just fine, and some little touch of tangerine. I'm gonna mix those two in together. Okay, and I'm gonna go right across. Not gonna worry too much if it is straight or wiggly, but I'm just gonna go ahead and make my line right about there. That's gonna be my horizon line, okay? So up here will be my sky and down here will be my land, all right? So now above this, I'm gonna take it just one more row. All right, above this, I'm gonna go in with just tangerine by itself. I'm gonna actually load up my palette here with a few of my colors. One of the great tips for this is to have your colors ready so that you can really do wet on wet painting, and that way they will flow and blend in a lot easier. So I'll show you here, and with our last one will be blue. So, and here is my messy paint palette. Let's come around. This is my yellow mixed with the tangerine for the horizon line. We're gonna go straight into the tangerine. Following that, we're gonna go into our carousel pink, our magenta, our dioxazine purple, and then our blue, okay? So going straight into that tangerine, coming right above it, and where they meet I will just blend those two together. Okay, and now I'm going to start curving up my tangerine, and I'm not even washing my brush, you guys. I'm just dipping in straight into my carousel pink, blending them where they meet together, and then taking it up. Okay. And like I said, I'm curving up the extra paint. It's kind of like a smiley face, actually. Okay. Good. I'm going to go into my magenta is next, doing the same thing right where they meet. Make those blend together. Back into my pink. Just don't want that harsh line. I want them really where you cannot see where one starts and the next one begins. I'm gonna dip into my water just a bit. That really helps us move around, right? Get that paint moving. All right, now we're gonna move on to our dark purple. That funky name, Dioxazine Purple. We're gonna add that right up to the top. leaving a little bit of space for our blue, but we'll go ahead and we'll blend those in together as well. Okay, and last but not least, we'll add our blue up on top. Nice. I'm going to grab some extra blue and come down towards my bottom and just work that in the opposite way. Grab a little bit more of my dark purples and add this in here. And just have fun with this, you guys. This is really, painting is very, very relaxing and soothing. And so there's no wrong or right. Your creation is beautiful no matter how it comes out. It doesn't have to look like mine, right? I really encourage you all to just pick up a brush, some paints, and just hit the canvas. You'll see so much of yourself come out in here. Okay, so now that I have this in, I'm gonna add a little bit more of my pink, my carousel pink, into the center. I'm gonna hit it with a little bit of water to make it move around. Yeah. Okay, so now I'm gonna let this piece dry. And while this is working, I will move on to the bottom portion. Now today's piece is just gonna be a sunset. Now in our next video, we're gonna add some palms. So let me grab the door here. My little Shay is knocking in on our door. So come on in. I have a little mini schnauzer who loves to paint with me. So when I come into my studio, she comes and she joins me. And she sits in her little bed and just watches her mama paint. I'm sure she finds it very soothing. She knows mom is in her relaxed mood. Okay, so there is our sky. We're gonna add some more to that in a little bit, but that's what we're gonna start with. Now we're gonna come on down here and add some to the bottom. So I'm gonna actually start the bottom the opposite way. So how we started with our dark colors last. We started with our dark colors last. No, we started with our light colors and ended. We're gonna come to the bottom with our darkest colors. So we're gonna take that dark purple and I'm just going to add it down here underneath our horizon line. I really haven't washed my brush, you guys. You know, a few little dabs to get the paint moving, but nothing as far as washing our brush. All right, I'm adding a lot of purple in here. Now some of this, for our next painting, we're gonna do some palm trees and they're gonna start down here. So a lot of this will be covered in black for our last one, but I'd like to get a finished product for this one. So I'm just really filling her in, even though we will, if you follow me to the next video, you'll see the palm trees will cover all that up. Okay, so also before you start your paints, you should always give your little bottles a good shaky shake. I got some water like separated from there, so just give that a little shake. All right, so let's go ahead and have these two lines meet. Okay. Great. Now normally I will sit here and let this dry for a bit. I'll rinse out my brush. And we're gonna dig into that orange, that tangerine color, to add some highlights into our water. Okay. Actually, before we jump into there, I'm gonna just grab some blue. So here, I'm kind of gliding my brush on the side because I don't want big clumpy chunks of blue. I want some real thin lines of blue along the side of my water. I'm just going to lightly brush those on. Okay. I want the blue to show. I want it to be seen, but I also don't want it to hide all of our purple. Okay. There we go. All right, now I'm gonna dip into that tangerine color. I'm gonna give my brush a good little rinse and a good dry. Dip into my tangerine. That's this orange color here. And you may have picked up, there's a few different oranges that DecoArt has, maybe like a jack-o'-lantern orange, and they also have an orange flame that is really beautiful. I went with the tangerine because it's a little lighter. I'm just dragging it across our waters here underneath. Okay, so as you can see, I'm holding up, wiping the excess. So I'm loading and I'm unloading, making sure I have that fine point. All my bristles are nice and together. And I'm just adding these across my waters. And like I mentioned, we're going to add some palm trees. They're going to be anchored here on the side. So I'm really just focusing on the middle section of it. Clean this up. Well, as you can see, I sometimes use my tablecloth to dry on. When I used to teach little guys, you know, they would have so much water on their paintbrush that giving them paper towels just would not, it really wouldn't work for them. So I would cushion my tablecloths with I would cushion my tables with some tablecloths, and I would just tell them, it's okay, Miss Poswell, wash it up, no worries, you know. And yep, at the end of the day, we just throw it into the wash and it'd be set for the next day. So lots of my tablecloths have some paints on them, which is kind of nice. It just helps me remember my little guys. Okay, so we've added that. I'm gonna add some of our yellow as well. Give it some yellow highlights right in the center. Just blend those in. Good. Okay. All right. So now what we're gonna do is now we're gonna go back to our sky is nice and dry. We'll let this dry, bottom dry. We'll focus up on our sky. We're gonna add some of our clouds up here. Okay, so for that we're gonna use a middle brush. And I think we're gonna go into the Magenta Purple is what I'm gonna try and see how that looks against our blue sky. And so I'm just gonna kind of make tapping motions onto my canvas to set placement of my clouds. Okay, so they can be anywhere you'd like. And I'm just tapping along. I want like fluffy, fluffy clouds. Some more about here. Now, a lot of this is going to get covered up with our palm trees, but I'd like to have something in the background that can pop through. So while this one doesn't look too much like a cloud shape, I don't know exactly where the placement of my palm fronds will be, but hopefully some of that will shine through there. Okay, so I'm gonna come on down. And now I'm gonna move on to my carousel pink and make these next clouds just a little bit lighter. So down in here, just have some texture up in my sky. And as you can see, there is no proper technique. I like to tell my painters, I am all about making it simple and accessible for everyone. This is fun art, not fine art, fun art, okay? I'm sure you can go online and you can find, you know, art lessons and learn all the different techniques, and that's not my goal here. My goal here is to just have you grab a brush, grab some random paints, and help you express yourself on canvas. If I am helping you not think about the craziness in your life today, and I can give you a little escape, I've done my job. That's my goal. That is my goal in being here and making these videos for you, is to just give you a little escape from our everyday lives that can sometimes be a little crazy. So here I am, I'm just defining some of that yellow sun that is fading away into the night. I'm just adding a little bit more, and I'm doing it, as you can see, in a smiley face motion. Right, just so that we can really see that sun setting in. Okay, and I'm just gonna take some of that orange into the edges and blend it in. So this is gonna be part 1 of this video. Like I said, we're gonna add some palm trees in part 2. I hope you enjoyed this. Please leave a comment. Please share so that you can share with a friend. I love to see your masterpiece, so go ahead and leave a comment below. Tag me in your piece. I'd love to see it. And then also hit that subscribe button so that you can get notified of the next time I load a next time I load a video. I have to get used to talking and painting at the same time. I usually paint here by myself, talking to my little Shay who's sitting here watching me. So I have to get used to that. So thanks for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this painting, and I'll see you at the next one. Bye-bye.